Welcome to the Last Week in Denmark podcast. Each week, two hosts from the Last Week in Denmark community talk through the top news and stories and developments in English, sharing personal insights and international perspectives. If you're an international living in Denmark or thinking of moving to Denmark, you're going to want to have a listen to these episodes. We have 3 complete seasons full of episodes for you, and although the news isn't as timely, the perspective, stories, and experience shared in them is. So please dig back into the other episodes. For the next few weeks, we will be on summer break, and we wanted to bring you highlights from this season. This Week in Denmark has Narcis and Kalpita talking about petty crime crackdown in Denmark. If you enjoy this segment, please take a screenshot of it and share it on your social media and tag Last Week in Denmark. All right, let's get to the segment.
We have a good segue to the next topic that we're discussing is petty thieves and petty crimes. Yeah.
Petty crimes, such a funny name. Misdemeanors, if you call it in English, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever been exposed to petty crimes?
Not personally, no, but I mean, yes and no, really. I worked with the e-bike company in Copenhagen. Very, very popular, very, very cool, extremely controversial as well. But we did work closely with the police at the end of the whole saga of stealing e-bikes. It is a nuisance, to be honest, and I don't think e-bikes and stealing e-bikes or batteries to e-bikes, whether it's a cargo bike or your whatever city bike or your off-roading, if you're using electric off-roads bikes, I do not believe that they're petty crimes, because that's a huge market as well. But apart from stealing batteries and just completely picking up a whole e-bike in itself and then selling that on the market is also a very, very big business. Millions and millions involved in that, actually. But I also live near a Netto, which has petty thieves coming in and out and stealing all kinds of things you imagine, and they have stolen it. I've seen people walk out from the Netto with things under their jackets, filled in their pockets, and they just, as soon as they step out, they are off. You know, by the time you even tell the person behind the till saying, hey, that person just, I saw him steal like a whole 6-pack or something. And by the time you go out to even see them, they're not there. So my question is, one thing is to find them, but how are we going to find them to find them?
To find them.
Yeah, because if you can't find the thief, I know for a fact that especially e-bikes and batteries that are stolen on e-bikes, you will never find that person. You don't know who this person has just out of the blue, when you've just popped into a shop to get whatever, has just taken your bike or taken your battery, and you're just left with either no bike or just a bike without a battery. And how do you find this person?
What's important here to notice, I lived in Denmark for 15 years. I came in Denmark in 2009. I came into a country which did not know what petty crimes were. The stores in here had no cameras. Many stores had no people. They were literally, you just put the money into a box and you get out with what you need from that store. That was the level of trust back in 2009. You have to understand that Denmark has gradually gotten used to the idea that it's changing as a society, and the fact that now you have cameras in stores. Of course, we're not at the level where you need to hire security at the entrance. I'm not sure. Maybe some parts in Denmark already went to that level of let's just say protection and security that you see in, for example, Eastern Europe, or actually France, Germany. But in Denmark, it's always been the case that you don't have to bother with such small things. Problem is, lately, shoplifting has become a bit too much. Many stores are kind of, because many times those were they looked at the situation and thought, okay, people steal for 3 reasons. 1, because they are very poor and they need to eat. Fair enough. And many times stores will close their eyes to those people because they knew that, okay, it's going towards saving someone's life. Fair enough. But and then the second reason why people were stealing in the past was because of fun, for the exhilarating thought of stealing something, for the rush and adrenaline that you get. There are people who literally want to get a kick out of it, and they just do it for that reason. But now, unfortunately, there's a third category that's emerging, and that's why now the government has decided to step in with a new law, is because now we have people stealing as a business. They're literally going to stores, they steal stuff, and they resell them on social media. It's crime as a business. It's a new thing. You can hire people to do all sorts of things, but you can also just take other people's products and resell them. It's literally a business. So that's why the government came with the first attempt at stopping these petty crimes. But to be honest, I'm not sure about the effect. I think, for example, on shoplifting, right, they raised fines from 500 to 1,000 kronas, and the fine has to be higher than the product that you stole. And then if you steal repeatedly, then you have that amount will just multiply itself. Okay, fair enough. I guess it will stop some people who steal because they're hungry, but it will not stop the people who are reselling, because this is too little. It's just a business loss, you can say. You put it under the category business loss and you move on. But I think the biggest impact, and I think many people listening to this should pay attention, we mentioned it at the beginning of the podcast, is that bicycles. From now on, from 1st of February, the police will be allowed to make random checks without a reason. They don't need a reason why they stop you. They just stop you. And they will check your bike ID. And if your bike ID is reported stolen, you will be going under burglary and bike theft. And that's a bit more serious accusation than shoplifting, actually.
Yeah, actually, as far as my knowledge goes, the police have been doing that already, because when I worked with the e-biking company, the police had started looking at the number. So I think it's applicable to most e-bikes especially, and probably your other non-e-bikes as well, that the frame of your bicycle has a number on it, and you just need to find that number, and your battery will also have a number on it. So if you get a legit bike, but maybe your battery is stolen, you never know. And police, I think I was working about 3 to 2 years ago. So I know the police have been doing this for at least 2 years, that they're randomly checking on bicycles. And they were specifically checking back then for the brand that I worked for. But I'm sure they extended that to other e-bikes as well, because it doesn't matter what e-bike it is these days. It's just a matter of getting the battery, especially because that, like you said, it is an organized business now.
It's also not just e-bikes. We're talking about all bikes.
Yeah.
Especially normal bikes, because in the past, to stop you, they had to have they need to suspect you. We suspect that you might have stolen this bike. So you had to be starting with the presumption of you might have stolen this bike. You look a bit funny. But now, literally, they can make let's just say, this morning, we're going to take this street, and every bike, 1,000 bikes that will stop, will pass, all of them have to be checked. So that's the difference. It's in now they're allowed to do more of it if they want to, and that's why because for example, you might have been more exposed because probably your company was often reporting those bikes being stolen. The police was looking for those specific bikes, but now they will look at any random bike. So what I suggest is that is there like a place you can look if your bike has been stolen, actually?
No, there isn't. I was also going to ask if there was a way to call the police or have something online where you can check if so-and-so numbers on bikes or so-and-so registration of e-bike, for example, is a stolen bike. Like, there is no record per se. Going back to 2 years, I know police checked specifically our brands and they stopped absolutely everybody. And they also stopped e-bikes who use similar battery sizes. So it wasn't just our bikes only, but it was other bikes who use similar batteries, because once a battery is stolen, then you then you can use it to any bike as well. But I would strongly suggest anybody who's buying bikes out of a Facebook marketplace or something like that, you have to be sure of who you're buying from, if this person is a previous owner, if they have any legitimation for all of that. But also things like electronics, your Macs, your phones, all of them come with registration numbers as well. So you have to be very careful if you're buying anything that is especially expensive or has a higher value. Then you have to be careful with who you're buying from, where you're buying from as well. Even places like Vinted and all of that, where you get used products, you have to be very, very careful with them, because you never know. This thing can also extend to other products. So it's not necessarily just this. And this could also be, I know for a fact that this is coming off the experience that our company had, because we unfortunately played a huge role in it wasn't the company did anything, of course, but it was that our bikes were used for serious crime. And that's why our company became the forefront of all of this. And I know these rules are also coming off of that experience, because it's not just the theft of a bike or an e-bike or similar products, but it's also, like you said, organized crime, but also it's used for furthering different serious crimes as well. So it's not just a small thing. It's just like a spark for bigger and different things that are also getting involved in it. So it's fine if you forget a train ticket or a bus ticket, but do not buy a bike or a product off anywhere where you don't know it's legit. Hey, this is Kalpita and Golda, co-hosts of the Last Week in Denmark podcast. Did you know Last Week in Denmark offers sponsored content in the newsletter? Our reporters are producing original articles and content tailored for internationals in Denmark.
So if you have a business our readers should know about, let us write about it. Get in touch with us at reporter@lwid.dk. You can also reach out to us on LinkedIn and Instagram at Last Week in Denmark.